fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions. Fact, don't ask, grab reactions. Jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused. Call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kiru's show here. And now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Dorzaya, who, he was pissed. The king basically took away his license to adventure, because Midoriya, he would not listen to what he has to say. The king has met somebody who is defying him, and is resistant or at least immune to his magic. Now, the king did not like that one bit, so he was trying to get Midoriya to bend to his will, thinking that it would be very easy. However, there was one problem. Midoriya, whenever the king took away his license, Midoriya ended up killing a fucking dragon, and saving his entire capital. The man was not only quite shocked, but he was, well, yeah. He has no way of making Midoriya seem like the bad guy. There are options he can do. However, they do require drastic action and drastic measures. And the king, he is not above letting him slide with this. Now, we do actually then have where Midoriya and the entire town, they partied like they were going to die. Since Midoriya, he was very happy. And people, they saw him as the actual hero destined to save the world. Now, with that being said, we do actually then have the next morning, when Midoriya, he does wake up incredibly hungover and with a pounding head, as he does go to sit up. Shit. That was something. Midoriya just thinking. He feels like he probably just killed 3 dragons. And that's saying something. Now, Midoriya, he does go to try to move his legs to get out of bed, thinking that he does have to be careful for Bella's tail. Now, as Midoriya, he does go to try and stand up, he does find there's somebody to his left. Midoriya going to pull the covers over and see who it is. If he had to guess, it's Lee. However, it's not. It's Belle. What the hell? What's she doing on my bed? Midoriya turning around behind him and thinking that, okay, so this must be Lee, right? Him pulling the covers over to see Ray. And then there is Lee directly behind her. What the hell? This crazy girl again? Now, Midoriya, he does go to stand. Just thinking that at least he does still have his clothes. So that's at least pretty good. Now, Midoriya, he would go to get changed, as he does then wake all of them up. All of them sitting up, hungover, and looking around. However, you do actually then have where Belle does realize that Ray's in the room, and that she's a bit underdressed. Now, Midoriya, he does ask Ray exactly why is she here. Oh, you don't remember last night? I feel like I should, but at the same time, my head hurts. Explain to me what happened, and maybe I'll consider sparing you. Hey, it wasn't like that last night. We all partied, and, well, you know. I know what. Had fun. We partied like comrades. And then, well, we came back here. Don't lie to me. I'm not lying. You asked me to bring you back here, and I did. Listen, we Onis have a sense of morals at least. We don't jump somebody we see as a opponent or, well, unless they're willing. Willing? From what I've witnessed of you, it doesn't really matter whether an opponent is willing or not. Isn't that right? No, it's just convincing is something we particularly have a hard time doing. However, most Onis aren't like that. What do you mean like that? Well, forceful. Made them see it as disgracing an opponent that they deemed worthy. It basically takes the entire premise out of who we are. It goes against our nature. I'll take your word for that. However, if I do find out, but what's on your face? What are you talking about? Rhea bringing his hands up and feeling around his face. Everything does feel normal. Until Midori, he does feel underneath his eyes and around the inside of where his eye is. The hell is this? Now, Midori, he would walk out into the hallway and then go to look in a mirror that's on the wall, or at least through a window, where he can see his reflection. What the hell? Midoriya seeing these strange things. Midoriya has what appears to be two black lines, at least let's just say, what? 2 inch 2 inches underneath both of his eyes. The two black lines, they do go like that. And there's the fact that they do then run from up to down over his eyes as well, along with the black area around the inside of by his eyelid. That makes no sense. These markings, they look, well, they're not fake, and he can't get them off of his face. Now, Midoriya, he does go to walk downstairs, asking who the dead man is who drew on him. Now, a ton of people do look his way, as many do see the symbols that Midoriya does hold. Now, the barman would actually walk over and inform Midoriya that he needs to sit down and calm down. Those are the marks of a dragon killer. Marks of a dragon killer? You better not be messing with me. No, sir, I wouldn't. They appeared last night while you were all celebrating with your comrades. Comrades? Yes. I was serving you drinks all night, and you all did go overboard. Really, it couldn't have been that bad. Sir, you hopped back here and stole a barrel. Okay, but still, that doesn't sound... and you chugged it. Okay, so it must have been pretty fun then. How much are you for that? Sir, that was on the house. I'm just informing you. Now, Midoriya, he does seem quite happy. However, at the same time, he is going to be trying to get used to these apparent dragon-killing lines. Now, you do actually have where Midoriya, he would actually sit down and eat something, trying to get the entire story about what happened from the man. And the man, he does fill in all the gaps Midoriya does have. Along with him even explaining that Oni, she went up there with him and he then heard nothing for the rest of the night, along with his comrades. Okay. I at least trust the word of a sober man more than a drunk person. Then again, I think I blacked out. That's unsurprising, or at least not surprising, sir. Thanks. Now, Midoriya, he is still sitting there. As you do actually then have a holy night, he does walk into the bar. And you do then have where Midoriya, he does turn around and see the man, who directly does walk up to Midoriya and hand him over a scroll, saying that by royal decree, he was declared to give this to the adventurer, known as the Dragon Slayer. Now, Midoriya, he does take this and read it. The man still standing there, asking Midoriya what his reply would be. Now, the note it does basically ask Midoriya to please come see the king at the capital. And he will want to talk to Midoriya. Now, Midoriya he would hand over this note back to the man, informing him that he'll come by. Now, the man does ask Midoriya to please come with him then immediately. Midoriya spinning back around and saying he'll come once he's done with his breakfast. Sir, this is a direct request from the king, and I'm not allowed to. Midoriya turning around, grabbing the man by his throat and asking if that was him trying to order him around. No, sir. Good. Midoriya does say, him letting go of the man's throat before he does go back to eating. The man dropping to his knees as he does find out exactly why Midoriya. He was feared by some knights that he does work with. That's why he drew the short end of the stick. Now, the man he does then quickly run away. As the bartender, he does inform this man to please refrain from damaging his property if he's in here. I'll just cover the expenses if I do. Oh, alright. I'll charge you double, though, for any supply you do break. That's fair. Now, Midoriya he does request something to drink. As the man, he does pour Midoriya a glass of, let's just say, coffee. Now, you do actually then have an hour later, where the king he's still waiting for Midoriya, sitting on his throne and tapping his finger. As we actually do have Atoria. Who? She is trapped in her own head. Midoriya, he was correct. Her father, he can't be controlled. He went so far as to brainwash his own daughter to maintain power. This has got to be some sick, twisted joke. Her father has never been like this before in her life. Why is he just now showing these strange habits? Now, you do actually have where she does try to at least begin to resist the brainwashing. However, it does not work. She's still stuck in that little cage inside the back of her own head. She's able to see and perceive everything. However, she's only able to squeeze out whenever the situation does require it. She's still held prisoner. However, she does at least show some freedom. To a normal person, if they were to speak to her in this state, they would not be able to tell she is brainwashed, since she'd walk and talk normally. However, she only would have her eyes glazed over and her body begin to start react differently whenever you do try and bring up the topic to her. Now, she will either quickly try to evade the topic or throw it in a different situation or way, and she'll do anything to protect this secret that she's been ordered to keep. Now, it's basically like a split personality taking over to preserve your body, or to do things they want to do. Now, that's the best way I believe I can describe it. And we do actually have Midoriya, who he does arrive to the castle today and walk into the throne room. A lot of people watching as he does step in. And Midoriya, he does directly get in front of the king. And the king he does go to stand as everyone around him does begin to kneel. And Midoriya he does just stare back at the king as he does look around the room. I see. Hello, adventurer. It has been a minute, I believe the phrase is called. I would like to speak with you upon something. This is about you restricting my ability to adventure. I don't think that stops me pretty much. Now, Midoriya says, stepping forwards. Knights beginning to move in front of the king as Midoriya he does just stare at them. And he does go to bring his hand up, informing all of them as his sword does pop into his hand that he wants to speak with this man face to face. He's nobody this man can look down upon. Now, Midoriya he does try to think. He didn't even go to draw his sword. His eyes must be playing tricks on him. His reaction speed is not that fast, is it? Now, Midoriya, he does hold the blade up to the king, and he's pointing it at him as his blade is about 5 feet away from the king, and about, let's just say, 4 to 5 steps down. Now, Midoriya, he does go to move forwards. The man going to attack Midoriya as he does just throw up one of his hands and swat the man to the side. The man being sent flying away as his armor does shatter upon impact. Midoriya then going to bring up his other hand, and as he does go to touch the man's covered in ice. Now, Midoriya, he would step forwards. As he starts to start to make his way up the staircase, and the king, he does start to back up. Now, you do actually have the queen, who after her husband does sit down, and Midoriya, he's sitting right there, about 2 steps down. She does inform Midoriya that he has done well as the hero of their nation. Wait, he is the blasted hero? The one set to slay the demon lord? That can't be. So that's how he took out the dragon so easily. Yes, hero. I did have my doubts of your true nature. However, it seems that I was correct. You have passed our test, and your ability to adventure will no longer be restricted. However, we will request certain things from you, along with some aid that may help us in the near future. So you want me to help you? Why, yes, that is correct. As the queen of this nation, I do have a duty to maintain. It is my job to maintain peace and prosperity across this land. Along with that, I do believe that you do have similar intentions, do you not? The betterment of this kingdom and the development of it? You should know. I understand that you're putting up some sort of front. Now, the queen, her very elegant and extravagant smile, along with her unwavering face, it does somewhat waver. Her smile somewhat twitching, as so one of her eyebrows. Whatever do you mean, young man? I understand that whatever this is going on between you two, you both know about it. Let me guess. You are royalty, correct? Which one of you married into this family? Why, that would be me, of course. I see. Now, Midoriya, he would turn to the man, saying that so he must be the rightful ruler to this nation, correct? Yes, that is correct. Now, as your king, I must... The wife bring up her hand to silence her husband. Midoriya turning to her as she has continued talking. She wants to have Midoriya as an ally, and he understands that he does seek the betterment of their nation. However, right now, all of their fronts are being put against the war effort. She knows he has a problem with the way they treat slaves in their nation, along with the fact that their entire workforce is monopolized on slaves. Now, Midoriya, he would look at this queen. Clearly, she's known what to say from the very start. I have that one request. Then I'll help you. I see. Young man, that request is far too difficult to grant. The simple fact that we alone have enough people to maintain at least a reasonable amount of order in this country, that is all we really do have. Now, if you would like to assist in freeing those people, we may come to a compromise. A compromise? Yes. In layman's terms, I believe that we can make a deal. One that can benefit both of us. This country, it can go great distances. Along with that, you'll be able to free all the people you want to protect. Now, Midoriya, he does look at this lady, as she does inform Midoriya that if he does join the war effort and help her son on the front lines, then that does mean that they can break through enemy territories. And after that does happen, they'll be able to bring their men back home. Then they can get everything sorted out from there with actually freeing these people from their slave bindings, and at least properly employing them. Now, Midoriya, he's looking right at the queen. She obviously has planned everything out for what to say. She already seems to know his next sentence, his next move before he even does. So, this lead is going to be very tricky. Now, Midoriya, he would turn to Atoria and ask her exactly if she did speak with her father. Why, yes, I did. Me and have had a very pleasant conversation. Right now we are still at odds. However, I do believe that we'll eventually come to some terms. I see. Roya is staring at Atoria, or Artoria, as he does see some mana coming off of her body. Okay. So this is strange. Her mana seems a little different. Along with that is the fact that, well, she's not nervous to speak to him. That's a red flag already. Something's wrong here. This girl could barely hold a candle of a conversation with him after hearing everything he's done. However, right now she's speaking as if he's the most innocent man on the planet. Now, we do actually then have Midoriya, who does turn back to the queen, asking her that if he helps them, they'll be able to at least do him a few requests. That is possible, adventurer. However, what are your requests? I join the front lines, what are you to say? Holding up his blade, saying, because of this weapon. Ah, yes, the sword of the demon. Maybe. However, what are you saying that this sword has gone through a bit of a change, or a bit of an evolution? I'm sorry? After slaying the dragon, this thing upgraded, and I'm curious to test its new abilities. One of my skills, they were already insanely powerful. However, now, they've possibly even doubled, if not tripled in strength. Now, the queen should stare at Midoriya, as Midoriya does actually see her gulp down what he thinks is a mouthful of spit. Now, Midoriya does watch her carefully. She is nervous. She knows the fact that he has the power to end her very life. However, that's just it. The nervousness seems to pass after about a few seconds. So, she's clearly using some sort of magical skill on him. However, he's protected, right? Now, the queen, she would actually go to bring up one of her hands, informing a man far off to her right to please prepare quarters for their hero. He'll be staying here until a, well, set of troops do head directly for the front lines. Is this acceptable for you, hero? Maybe. However, I do want to know. Midoriya walking up and bending down directly in front of the queen. Her sitting perfectly still as Midoriya, he does look her directly dead in the eyes, asking her what magics he's currently casting. Whatever do you mean, traveler? I'm not casting any form of magic. Your eyes must be playing tricks on you. Maybe. However, I do trust my eyesight more than I trust any of you here. Now, this is quite interesting. And the queen, she does watch as Midoriya does turn around and go to walk away, as she is trying to think. She needs to get people to directly go for Midoriya. take this man out while he's weakened. Maybe if they do take him out and dispose of his body the next morning, they can get him out of the picture. They need somebody that they can really call the hero. The man is a dragon slayer. However, he is going to be a very large threat to their plans. Now, with that being said, we do actually have the princess, who she was trying to call out from Midoriya, but nothing was happening. She felt like as if someone stole her own voice. And then, whenever she tried to get up and move to try and cause a commotion, her body would not follow her command. Now, she was scared, and she was trying to think. Dorozaya, he knows something was up, and she's right there. She can't scream, she can't yell, she can't even move a single muscle to try and inform him of what's wrong. And it frightens her. Is this how he felt all those months? And there's the fact that he said he's combat trained. That means that his body, whenever he could not stand, did he get back up? Did he just keep going? What type of willpower does he have to be able to withstand this for so long without giving up? It's taking every ounce of her own strength just to try and keep it together. Now, the kingdom, they do hear about Midoriya. The hero is going to be deployed to the front lines and end their war. Now, they are all excited. Along with that, demi-humans, they themselves, they do seem rather, yeah, this is a good thing and it's a bad thing. The fighting, it will stop. However, many of their own species and possibly even other races are going to lose a lot of people in this battle. Now, you do then have where the queen, she does request a high-class room for the hero, where he will be staying. Now, Midoriya, he does have this room prepared for him as he does go to leave and grab his stuff from the inn. As Midoriya, he does leave, he does look through his skill tree. Apparently, he's obtained new powers. He must have put skill points into them whenever he was drinking last night. And there's the fact that many things here he has not seen. And then he does go over to his skill branch, where you do actually have Midoriya, he's spec'd into some stealth magic. Midoriya, he is able to make himself go invisible. Along with that, he's able to hide his presence, meaning that people wouldn't even be able to perceive when he's staring directly at them. It's a passive skill, but it's also very useful. There's also what appears to be sleight of hand magic and inventory magic, along with even hidden magic. So, these must be all skills spec'd into the stealth aspect. Inventory is something else for a passive ability. And Midoriya, he does go to bring his hand up as he does think. Now, Midoriya, he does think the words put away, and his sword does disappear. Midoriya, watching as it does turn into what appears to be some form of light before going back down into his hand. And Midoriya, he would look at that, asking his inventory exactly what the hell is this? Passive ability, known as inventory magic. Inventory magic allows a person to store items within their own body and pull them at will. Wait, so you're saying my sword's inside me? Correct. Store within an artificial space created forming magic. What? Now, Midoriya, he does break this down piece by piece. Apparently this does mean that Midoriya, he doesn't really need to draw his weapon anymore. As long as he just going to move his hand in the way and think about his blade, it should appear in his hand. So that's what sleight of hand is. And then there's hidden. Midoriya, him actually going to look around, as people, they don't really look at him. He's one of the most powerful men in town, but people don't want to talk to him. So that's at least a nice skill to have. Now, Midori he does also look into the branch, where it does talk about the Dragon Slayer skill unlocking a unique skill set. Midoriya reading what appears to be a Dragon Abilities branch. Now, Midoriya he does have a few things. Ice magic he's already spec'd into. And then there's Dragon Skin. This is a basically layer of armor Midoriya can have. Midoriya's skin will be highly tougher and resistant to not only physical and, well, magic attacks, but if Midoriya he does so deem it, he can actually transform into a dragon with a unique skill only he may have access to in the world. Now, Midoriya he does find that to be quite fascinating. How he does look at how much mana does require that skill to be used. Now, it's quite bad. It takes over 750 mana points to turn into a dragon. And even then it says that the duration of it is only 5 minutes. Now, Roy does find this to be quite interesting though. Never in his life did he think he'd be able to at least say he can turn into a dragon. And he does find it to be quite cool at least. Apparently the form will increase all of his magic attacks, along with physical attacks, along with giving him abilities like the claws and wings that the dragon does possess. However, he does read that if he does spec further into this skill, he can have partial access to the dragon form. Now, he doesn't really understand what that does mean. However, he does actually look into this a bit more, learning that he can summon the claws and wings of the beast he killed, and use them as if they were his own. That does seem to be quite cool. But Midoriya he would rather not grow a pair of wings on his back just yet. Now, he does head back to the inn and meet back up with the others, where they're all watching Midoriya grab stuff as it does disappear, asking exactly what he's doing. Midoriya is saying that he's testing a form of magic he apparently has access to now, as they are all watching. Now, Midoriya he does explain the situation to them. He got their adventuring license back. However, they are kind of in a bit of a spot. The Queen is going to allow them to fight. Midoriya, he basically has to service this country, and in return, they will fulfill a request he's given. Midoriya has to fight for the freedom of the people who are enslaved for this nation. And whenever the fighting does stop, the Queen said that she will allow slaves to be set free. And at least they will be able to choose where they can work and do certain tasks for actual money, instead of for nothing. Now, eventually Midoriya he would head to the capital with his friends in tow. As the Queen, she does welcome them. And a demi-human servant does actually take Midoriya to the room he's going to be staying in, along with escorting Belle, Lee, and Ray to different places. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.